Alright, this is going to be a test of my hardware recording. I'm recording with hardware and with DxTory at the same time. Now I can do that because the hardware recording takes no resources whatsoever. So this is just exactly as I normally play with DxTory running. Obviously DxTory takes a lot of resources. You can actually see how it looks when I play now. You see up in the top left hand corner, if you look on the hardware version, you'll see a counter. That's telling me how many frames a second I'm getting and how many frames a second I'm recording. So obviously if I record from the hardware, I get no drop whatsoever, which it will really allow me to push my system to limits. I mean, I already push it pretty far, but you know, hey, every bit helps, right? So what I'm looking for isn't just quality, because the quality, I think the quality is pretty good. I think, for example, the texture here, this is the default high definition textures of the Bethesda. So I'm looking for the quality, obviously. It's, you know, I'll be doing some comparisons, but I'm also looking for vertical tearing, because I use VSync. But I am on the hardware recording at 30 frames a second, and I don't know if it has any tearing.
Been tending your hounds?
Whereas on DxTory I'm recording at 60 frames a second, so I'm recording basically at the same speed that I am viewing it, so there should be zero interference. So I'm looking for stuff like that as well. I'm going to move it quite fast. Now obviously if I can use the hardware, it's a massive improvement in, you know, what I can run mod-wise and so on. However, there is a downside to it. When I'm recording with DxTory normally, I record the audio with the video. It just has a separate channel. When recording this way, what I will have to do is record my voice using something like Audacity.
Heard what you did, killing those foul witches. Well done.
So I will record with Audacity, and then I'll have to sync my voice with the game sound later on. So obviously that's a little extra work. So I think strafing is one of the areas where you tend to see differences, and also turning. But as I say, honestly, I'm not a big fan at the moment of DxTory. I have to run it so brutally to get it smooth. And if it drops below 50 frames a second, it really makes it feel horrible. So I'd love to get the hardware working. Okay, I think that's enough footage. Okay, I'm gonna rerun both video sections side by side. Now watching them on my render machine, and one of the first things I noticed was on the hardware side the colour was a little bleached, but I've corrected it with a filter which works. So it's changed the colours a little bit more. They'll always be different. Whichever thing you use to record will be slightly different. For example, here you can see the sky is slightly bluer actually on the hardware side. It's got slightly different colour balance. It's neither here nor there mostly. I did notice that the hardware side seems to be less smooth. Now, I did find out it was recording at 29.97 frames a second, which could indicate that when I replay it, I have to record this at 29.97. I'm not totally sure yet. And it was very difficult for me to get the images completely in sync with each other here. So you'll have to forgive the fact that they're about a frame apart. But I think the quality is almost identical. I think DxTory records slightly smoother. However, one of the things you should know is that when I'm recording on the hardware, obviously I'm recording on DxTory at the same time, so it may actually be a mixture of both. But the quality looks pretty good. There doesn't seem to be any tearing, which is nice. The DxTory is a little smoother, at least it is when I'm watching it now, but I'm watching it at 60 frames a second. When I upload this to YouTube, it'll be 30 frames a second anyway, so actually it shouldn't make any difference, because it doesn't matter what I'm watching it in now, what you watch it in will be 30. So, still, that's not bad actually. One thing I did notice is every now and again on the hardware side there is a brief discoloration. It's nothing major, it's nothing intense. It's coming up fairly soon. And you'll see, there, you see it's gone a sort of greeny colour. And it disappears there. So there's like a slight discoloration that happens every now and again. So that, you know, it's minor things. I know I'm nitpicking now. I really am picking. But that's what I want to do. I mean, I'm looking at this as a possible... See there again, slight discoloration. It's like it can't quite handle the shifting colours. I'm looking at this as a way to do my Let's Plays whilst recording, you know, very good quality still. Maybe push the mods more. And also, the hardware recording records to a completely different system and records very compressed. Very, very compressed. Because I've got an entire system just rendering. So I can actually record 10 hours of gameplay without stopping. Which, that's an advantage.
Hardlack White Mane has been laid to rest.
Okay, so here I am literally just recording with the hardware. I am not using DxTory, and I can tell you now the game felt really smooth. I think it actually looks smoother as well. So when only using one way to record, I think it generally looks a little smoother. And this is with the hardware. And was absolutely, it was unbelievably smooth in game because I wasn't running any other program, just Skyrim. It was amazing. So it does make a huge difference to how it feels, but I'm more interested in how it looks, and I think, I don't know, it's a close call for me, this one. I think DxTory is probably just a tiny bit better. Just a tiny bit better quality. It's a little bit smoother because it records, well, it records 60 frames a second, but I mean that's actually taking up so much disk space. But I think, you know, it really has just got a little bit of the edge, but it is very, very close. So I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, is it a noticeable difference, or is that something I could actually use for my Let's Plays? I think I would still use DxTory and Fraps for comparison shots, quality shots for my review videos, but for my Let's Play, what do you think? I mean, and be honest, if you look at that and say to yourself, no way, yeah, say it. I mean, I want to know what people see when they watch the video. And if you're watching this at 720 or something or below that, it probably makes no difference. I understand that. It's really for the people who are using 1080p. Anyway, that's really all the video is. Just a quick test, and I think it's definitely worth thinking about. It's definitely an improvement over when I first started using the hardware. I'm still not completely convinced. However, kind of fun playing with it.
Divine smile on you, friend.